welcome back. It is now time for the much anticipated, I assume, Sephora haul. I did a little bit of shopping. So, as you know, I was away during December. I went to the States, and so I did pop into one or two Sephoras. Not as many as I planned to, I might add. I was very restrained. Still managed to spend an absolute ton of money and become a Sephora VIB in the process. But here are the highlights. These are the things I bought in no particular order. Okay, first up is this kit, and this is from Bosher, and this is called the Japanese Favorites Kit. Shine bright with these Bosher faves. And it is 4 skincare items. It is the exfoliating peel gel, the Tsubaki Glotion, I'll see what you did there, the detoxifying black cleanser, which has got charcoal in it, so it's really clarifying, and the Sake Bright White Mask, which is an illuminating mask. So I've used the Bosher Makeup Breakup Cool Cleansing Oil, which I bought the last time I was in the States, and that's really nice, and I have used the Bosher Charcoal Sheet Masks, and I really like them, so I thought this was a good way to try out a few more products from the range, and also the kits at Sephora tend to be really, really good value. So this is worth $54, but it was only $35. So I do tend to pick up a couple of things like that when I'm there, because it's, like I say, a nice way to try various products and not spend as much money as you would otherwise. Another kit I bought, and which was on the shopping list that I put on the blog before I went, is this one from Way. This is called Jen's Style Edit. Jen is in Jen Atkin, who created the brand, and this has 4 of their best-selling products: the Wave Spray, the Texturizing Hairspray, the Finishing Cream, and then rather randomly 6 elastic hair ties. Now, I haven't tried any of these yet. Camilla has the Texturizing Hairspray and says that it's awesome. This is it here, so it's just like a kind of dry texturizing spray, kind of like the Orbe one, I guess. The Wave Spray, I'm assuming, is kind of like a salt spray, so I would use that in damp hair. And then the Finishing Cream, I'm assuming, is kind of a smoothing product. And then the hair ties are pretty much going to go into an ARB drawer, to be honest. Very keen to try those products. The good news is I can get Way from Cult Beauty, so if I do fall in love with anything, it's a little bit easier for me to get hold of than, say, something I could only get in the States. Okay, next up is another thing from that shopping list, and it is a Benefits Cheekathon. This is an amazing cheek palette. It comprises 5 full-size Benefit pans of their box powders, and the shades are Rocketeur, Hula, Dandelion, Dallas, and Coralista. The fact that each of the pans is full size makes this insane value. You essentially get 2 pans for free because of the cost of the palette. Normally with the palette like this, the pan size is smaller, so it doesn't work out to be such a good deal, but this is amazing. I've wanted to try Rocketeur for a really long time. Same story with Hula. I've always loved the look of the Dandelion powder. It's kind of a very soft focused finishing powder. I do own Dallas and Coralista already. Dallas is my all-time favorite blush, but Dallas is on its last legs, and my Coralista I'm about halfway through, but I figure I can give that away and then rather use the powders that are in the palette. So I'm pretty stoked with that. Comes in really nice sturdy cardboard packaging. Not necessarily the most travel friendly product, but it's something that will live in my vanity and I'm sure I'll get lots of joy out of. Another quite exciting one, and quite a spontaneous purchase, I have to say. I wasn't planning on getting this because Lord knows I don't need any more eyeshadow palettes, but I saw it and I remember seeing Sharon Farrell doing one of her 3 looks from 1 palette tutorials using this palette, and I loved every single one of them. It was kind of in the back of my mind, and it is the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. The reason that I like the look of it is because, yes, it does contain some neutrals, and I'm sure I have half these colors already, but I really like the idea of the more unusual colors in the palette. So shades I maybe wouldn't necessarily otherwise buy. These gorgeous peachy shades here. This is a gorgeous olive green with a darker green. Again, 2 varying depths of shades of purple, and then all the kind of beautiful matte browns and champagne and bronze shades you would use to create a kind of everyday or more neutral look. So I love the idea of the color combinations. I've never had any Too Faced products, but I've heard that the formulas are amazing, so I'm really, really keen to try those. I haven't dipped into it yet, but when I do, I'll do some swatches and put an Instagram story up so you guys can see. It does smell of synthetic peach, which I'll be honest isn't my cup of tea. That's not a selling point for me. I really don't need my makeup to smell like fruit. I'm not 12, so that is an aside. I don't really think it adds to the palette. It is very gimmicky. People do tend to love it. It's just not for me, but it's not going to stop me using it, and I do really like the metal packaging. 2 lip products that I got. One is one of the Sephora cream lip stains. Now this was a little bit of a surprising one for me. I didn't expect to pick up this color. I thought I was going to go in there and buy the the red or the orange or one of those other really gorgeous bright shades they do. This is unusual because it is a kind of metallic pink, like a shell pink almost, which now that I say it out loud sounds like someone's granny's lipstick. But the thing I really like about it is that because it's slightly reflective, and I don't mean that in a foiled way, I mean like it just has a little bit of pearl in it, it does make your lipstick huge. And I don't really own any other very wearable liquid lipsticks. All my liquid lipsticks tend to be super bold, very like high impact colors. So I thought it would be nice to try a color that was a bit more everyday, that I could wear on a more regular basis, that had the benefits and the longevity of a liquid lipstick without being too bold and kind of unwearable. So I've worn this a couple of times in the States and I really enjoyed it, so quite happy with that. And the shade I think is Infinite Rose. Just to kibosh the entire thing about buying neutral liquid lipsticks, this is from Kat Von D. I really wanted to try the formula because I've heard such good things about it. This is the shade Bachelorette. It's a very rich raspberry pink. It comes up slightly redder on camera than it is. It's a bit more pink in real life, but you'll see in the swatch it also does come out a little bit darker on the skin than it does look in the tube. I love the packaging. I think it's beautiful. Kat Von D's products are incredibly good quality. I did wear this as well and it's very comfortable and not drying. I wore it for about 5 or 6 hours one evening when we went out for drinks and for dinner, and I didn't have to reapply it, and it didn't fade awkwardly, it didn't smudge. It was completely matte without shrink wrapping my lips. So yeah, I think that probably does live up to the hype. I'd like to test it a little bit more thoroughly, but so far so good. Last but not least, for makeup, I bought the It Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC cream. I bought this in the shade medium. I think it comes in about 5 or 6 shades. I don't know why it's back in the box, because I've used it. So you've probably heard of this product because it is much hyped. Everybody talks about it and how amazing it is. I've used it now 3 times. The first time I used it, totally underwhelmed. Didn't get it. I was like, it's very nice, but I don't really understand why you would go to all the effort to get it from the States, because it just wasn't that special. I've since used it a couple of more times, and every time I use it I like it a bit more. So yeah, my opinion is kind of evolving on it. What I love about it is it gives really decent medium coverage. It's got SPF 50, which is great, although having said that, I would rely on the SPF in my sun cream rather than the SPF in a foundation product, because I don't wear enough on my skin to give me the benefit of SPF 50. It's also really glowy, like in a very natural way. So obviously not glittery or shiny, but it just makes your skin look incredibly healthy when you wear it, which I love. So yeah, I'm wearing that today. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but it is really, really nice. I do think it's quite pricey, but it is really nice, and if you do have the chance to try it, then I would actually recommend it. It's great. On the fragrance front, so one of the things I put into that shopping list on the blog was a little kit of 4 Elizabeth and James rollerballs of the 4 fragrances. I've got 3 here because I've given 1 to Camilla. They are black, white, rose, and then bourbon. Bourbon is the one I like the least. I think black is gorgeous, rose is gorgeous, and so is white. So it was very difficult for me to choose. I did decide to purchase a full size, and I ended up getting the white fragrance. The reason I bought white is because as much as black and rose are really beautiful and just well balanced, delicious perfumes, they are quite rich, and I do have a lot of perfumes like that. But in summer, I do tend to lack more light floral fragrances, and that's what white is, and that's basically why I bought it, to kind of round out my collection a little bit better. So other than that, those 2 fragrances are great. Bourbon's not my cup of tea, but Camilla loves it. Again, quite a rich fragrance, but these fragrances absolutely live up to the hype. The fact that it's one of those things that you always hear beauty bloggers talking about, especially when they go to the States or they're from the States. I just think they're really wearable, they are versatile, so another product I can highly recommend. Last but not least, I bought 4 sheet masks. You know how I love a sheet mask. So the first 2 are actually from Sephora's own brand, and these are the avocado face mask, which is nourishing and repairing, and the rose face mask, which is ultra moisturizing and brightening. I use sheet masks regularly. I just think they're so much fun. They're really good on the plane. They're really good if you're a little bit sunburnt. They're really good if you're just lying on the couch and want to just inject your face with a bit of hydration. I'm really excited to try those. I haven't tried those before. Another one from a brand I haven't used before, which is a Japanese brand called Too Cool for School, is the egg cream mask. So this is supposedly very, very hydrating, so I'm looking forward to seeing if that lives up to its claims. And then an oldie but a goodie one that I have used before and I love is the Dr. Jart Water Replenishment Cotton Sheet Mask. This is just so hydrating. It's amazing for dehydrated skin. Dr. Jart products in general, the skincare is really beautiful. And that is about it. I got a few bits and pieces from the drugstore, but I'll do a separate little blog post on those. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time. Bye!